Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. And today I am going to be chatting about some holiday season tips and tricks. Um, the holiday season is upon us, it's coming up really quickly. And although it's a time to look forward to and enjoy, there's also some stress that can come with the holidays, especially when we have certain health goals that we are working towards and health routines that sometimes get a little bit disrupted because of the change in routine with the holiday season. So I'm just going to share some fun tips and tricks that you can maybe try out this holiday season around food, physical activity, and some tips for managing stress around the holidays also. So, kind of starting off around some tips when kind of around holiday dinners or holiday parties. Um, what we can do to prepare ahead of time for those big holiday events that often involve a lot of different foods and big celebrations. So, one of the biggest things that we can do here is don't go to these parties or events on an empty stomach, or don't skip meals to prepare for a big feast. This makes it so much harder for us to manage our blood sugar, and it also makes us really hungry. So when we are at these parties, it's more likely that we're going to overeat. So a big tip here is before setting out for your party, eat something so you don't arrive in a famished state. So if the party's a little earlier, more like a lunchtime thing, start your day with a nice healthy breakfast. But if it's a little later in the evening and you need something beforehand, really good pre-party stack is going to be some kind of combination between a complex carb with a protein and fat. So something like fruit and nut butter, like an apple and peanut butter, or maybe a slice of turkey and cheese with some whole wheat bread or whole wheat pita. Those are going to be really good hearty snacks, so we don't arrive super hungry. Um, Another thing is when we're doing our shopping for the holidays, there are so many good things, floating around the supermarkets or around, different holiday markets. So, this is a good tip for really any time of year, but especially during the holidays when there are extra goodies. Don't go shopping hungry. Eat something before you go shopping so that, you're not super tempted to buy a bunch of extra goodies and you stick mainly to, what's on your list. Another good tip for preparing for a holiday event is prepare to bring your own dish. This ensures that there's going to be at least one nutritious option that you are able to choose from at the party, especially when we are doing something like a potluck dinner. Bringing, a healthy dish or a fruit plate or a veggie plate will set you up to have, a healthy option to fill your plate up at the party or event. And then, some tips when we are at the party. One big one is to eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed. So I think we've all probably can think back to a time where we overate and had that really just terrible overstuffed feeling. It's definitely not fun. So eat slowly and check in with your fullness levels. See how you're feeling during that meal. Remember, there's probably going to be leftovers. So we don't need to eat, a ton of food at one sitting. Give yourself some time, enjoy the conversation, and, check in with yourself during that meal. Another good tip is to be choosy. So when, this works really well with kind of like a buffet style meal, do a lap, see what's around, see all the options that are there for you. And, fill your plate up with the things that you love. And be, mindful that, when you're checking out all the options, there are going to be some things that really call to you. Load up on those. Other things, maybe pass on them. But just, be mindful when you're making those choices and make sure you see all the options before you decide what you might want to put on your plate. Always make room for veggies, so whether that's snacking on some veggie trays, an appetizer, or if there's some good side dishes, putting those on your plate, always a good choice to make. Another big thing, and I'm sure we all have experience with this too, but there can be some food pushers at these events. So, these can be people who want you to try something or offer you more food or put another serving on your plate without without asking you. And this can be really tricky because we don't always get the chance to say no. But just remembering that you are in control of what you eat and it's always okay to be confident and decisive and just be polite to the person and let them know that you're not interested in eating, what they're offering. And, never feel shame or feel bad for wanting to, eat a certain way or stick to your goals. There is absolutely, nothing wrong with doing that. It's always okay to say no if someone offers you something that you definitely, are not interested in having. Another big thing is when we are at, a big dinner or a party, is watching where we stand. So while you're mingling, try not to stand too close to the buffet table or, the appetizer table, because that is going to make it easier for us to kind of pick and mindlessly eat. So fill your plate up with what you might like and stand, somewhere across the room and mingle. That is going to make it easier for you to kind of control your portions while snacking and kind of mingling with your friends and family. When you finish your meal, also this is a big one. Take some time. Take around 10 minutes to let your stomach give you the signal of whether you're full or you're still hungry before going to seconds. So it does take a few minutes for that signal to kind of come in. So give yourself 10 minutes. Keep the conversation flowing, drink some water, and then recheck your appetite. If you are still hungry, very likely you'll go for a smaller portion than what you would have if you went directly after your meal. Or you may find that you're not hungry at all, and that's okay too. One big thing too when around the holidays is alcohol. There's often a lot of different alcoholic beverages and drinks are flowing, so we definitely want to be mindful of alcohol during the holidays. Kind of an example of this is a glass of eggnog can be almost 500 calories sometimes, and then wine, beer, and mixed drinks can be somewhere between 100 and 300 calories. So, if we are going to drink alcohol, that's totally okay, but we can do it in a more mindful way. So drinking some water or some seltzer in between the drinks and drinking more slowly can help reduce the overall volume and therefore the overall calories we consume with alcohol over the span of a dinner or a party. So big things to remember, and these are really important, is pay attention to what really matters during the holidays. Although food is always going to be probably an integral part of the holiday season, try to put your focus on friends and family and really enjoy laughing and having fun with them. Find that happy balance and moderation and use that as your guide. But if you do overindulge, that's totally okay. This is going to be, this is a once in a while thing. Holidays happen once a year. These holidays in particular, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, those are all, once a year. So you are going to indulge. That's okay. No food is considered bad or off limits. Choose dishes that you love and, prioritize the dishes that you don't really get very often because it's exciting and they're seasonal and they're festive and they're meant to be enjoyed. But slow down and savor them and just really, enjoy them and enjoy the moment with them. And, the biggest thing here is never feel guilty. If you do overindulge, never beat yourself up. It is totally okay. It happens. What you can do is just set yourself up for success the next day. There is never a need to skip any meals or do extra exercise. Just get back into that healthy routine, the day after the big celebration, and you will be right on track to working towards your goals. Kind of moving along to some activity, like physical activity tips and tricks. This can be tough because our schedules often get kind of flipped around. Gyms may be closed, we may be traveling, so it makes it a little bit harder to stick to our everyday routines. So scheduling your activity into your holiday routine can be big here. One thing that I find helps a lot is breaking physical activity into smaller chunks to make it just more doable. So you may not be able to find, a free hour in your day, but you can find some segments of 10 minutes to get a quick walk in, do a few exercises, and that can make, a big difference in your day. Getting moving with your family and friends. So if you are traveling, instead of having a holiday meal, or, well, not instead of, but, after a holiday meal, take a walk with your family and friends. If you're getting together with someone that you may not see in a while, maybe suggest going for a walk, and just finding ways to kind of sneak in movement there as well. It definitely, takes some creativity when we don't have our normal routine. So, maybe trying something new, finding a fun workout at home, even having a dance party. That's always fun too, and a great way to get moving with, especially with family members or friends. When you're out, shopping and doing all your errands, try and take the stairs for some extra steps in there. Parking further away from the front entrance will also get some extra movement. So those are some good things to remember when you're out and about. And another thing, there are so many online workout videos these days. So YouTube has just a ton of different options, from yoga to HIIT to Pilates. You can basically find whatever workout you're looking for on YouTube. And what's great about that too is there's always, a stint of time. So there's 10-minute workouts, there's 30 minutes, there's hour, so you can find something that really fits you and what you're looking for too. So maybe trying something like that out could be helpful for when you're not in your usual kind of fitness routine. And then last, what I want to chat about is just some tips to help you manage stress. Although, holidays are a fun time, they do come with some stressors. So scheduling some me time, ideally every day, will be big here. Taking a nap, putting on a podcast, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, take a hot bath. Those are all ways to help you kind of replenish and unwind before, your next big celebration. Also holidays can bring up different feelings for different people. There's not always, happy feelings associated with holidays, and just knowing that that's okay. All feelings are valid, and acknowledging those feelings are going to be important during this season. Also important to be realistic. So they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to go perfectly. There's going to be some bumps in the road, and that's okay. There may be some changes from last year or previous years, and that's okay too. So just, going in with an open mind and just enjoying yourself can really be helpful as well. Busy times too. I mean, there's, holidays where you're running all over the place. You got so much to do on your to-do list. Planning ahead and setting up some specific days and times to do your shopping, your cooking, your baking, connecting with your friends and family, and, all the other activities that come along with the holidays. Having, some planning along with those can be helpful and help reduce stress when there seems to be so much going on. Holidays also can be a financial stressor. So, before you do your gift shopping, before you do your food shopping, outline a budget about what, you want to spend and what you want to be able, what you can afford. And do your best to stick to that budget. Having that plan is really helpful for reducing that financial burden that the holidays can have when you're buying, lots of stuff for lots of people. And the last tip I have for you is, to help reduce stress is a big one, and it's practicing saying no. We get so many kind of bombarded with different parties and plans to go out and visit friends and do different activities, and that can start to feel pretty overwhelming sometimes. So being mindful, setting those boundaries, and knowing that it's okay to say no to some plans can really help make the holiday season feel less overwhelming, and your friends and colleagues and family will understand if you can't participate in every single activity. Just make sure you're checking in with yourself and making sure you're okay, and assessing what you need during this really busy time. So kind of the big picture here, and just to wrap everything up, the holidays are meant to be enjoyed. Planning ahead and having, these tricks to help you find a good balance can be really helpful. But ultimately, these holidays come around only once a year. So enjoy yourselves and, make a plan to get back into your healthy routine right after the holidays, and that will get you right back on track and towards your goals. So just wishing everyone a happy holiday season. And if you have any other tricks or tips that work really well for you for this busy season, please, throw them in the comments so we can share them with our community here. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you soon.